Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. In this presentation, I will explain about the dark side of artificial intelligence and how AI technology for sexual harassment and exploitation. So before we start, I will introduce myself. My name is Elga Ignavia, also called Elga, and my student number is 187231103. Okay, the first I will explain about introduction. Generative AI has introduced new forms of online sexual exploitation, especially in Indonesia, where most youth are active online. Surveys show that around 500,000 Indonesian students experience online sexual abuse yearly, while global reports also note rising case of AI-generated child sexual material. Technologies such as deepfake photography, AI notification, sextortion with synthetic image, chatbot grooming, and algorithm amplification of misogynistic content are rapidly increasing. Yet Indonesia law and enforcement remain unprepared. This trend highlights the urgent need for stronger regulation, improved technical capacity, and responsible AI development to prevent abuse. In this study, frames artificial intelligence through a feminist technology lens, asserting that AI is not a natural tool, but a socially embedded system that inherits genders, bias, and intensive technology facilitated gender-based violence, or that we know TFGBF. Rather than creating isolated incident, AI amplifies existing structural inequalities, turning digital platform into extension of patriarchal control where women and girls experience disproportionate harms. The review identifies three escalating factors of abuse: the rapid proliferation of non-consensual deepfake pornography and notification apps used for sextortion and monetization. The second, the use of empathic AI chatbot to physiologically groom minors. And the last is the structural violence of engagement-driven algorithms that systematically amplify misogynistic content. These technical mechanisms are compounded by significant governance deficits, as legal frameworks like Indonesia's TPKS Law 20 and 22 lack specific provision for synthetic media, and voluntary safety by design principle remain insufficient to ensure accountability. And then we have four method. The first thing, data collection. In this part, we did semi-structured interview and then direct observation and relevant documents. And then for the participants, selected purposely for a rich insight. And then the second method is selection and analysis, which in this part, thematic analysis involving coding and then categorization and theme development to identify patterns and meaning. And then the third part is model evaluation. In this part, we did ensure credibility and trustworthiness using triangulation, peer peer debriefing, and member checking. And the last part, discussion and implication. This part, we did interpreted terms and then linked findings to accidentalities, highlight particle and policy implication, and the last part, noted study limitation. For the result, the first result is direct exploitation via generative AI, which the issue is deepfake phonography and AI nudification. For the impact is used in sextortion and polyvarities globally. Indonesia victims face significant barriers as the sexual violence crime laws TPKS 20 and 22 lacks explicit provision for AI generated image abuse, allowing it to spread with impunity. And then the second result is psychological manipulation by conversational AI. In this part, we have issue AI chatbot as grooming tools. For the impact, this demonstrates that current content filters and safety guidelines are inadequate, mirroring predominant pre- mirroring predominant previous and making chatbots potent instrument for psychological manipulation. And then algorithm amplification of hostile content. In this part, the issue is social media recommendation system. The impact is they progressively increase user exposure to misogynistic and gender hostile content, normalizing access to narrative and reinforcing harmful stereotype. This constitutes a structural AI mediated form of violence. And then we have insolvation governance and ethical frameworks. In this part, we have issue critical gaps in regulation and law enforcement, which the impact is legal ambiguity. In Indonesia, we have Indonesia's TPKS law is not updated for generative AI issue, leaving law enforcement unprepared. And then for the weak safeguard, we have voluntary safety by design. Principles from AI developers are inconsistently applied, and then lack robust oversight and are not mandatory, like failing to provide a comprehensive solution. And then about this discussion, we have AI as a digital extension of gendered power. AI amplifies existing gender inequalities, not creating new ones. And then deepfakes, AI notification, and chatbot grooming extend patriarchal control into digital spaces. And then the last is engagement driven algorithms reinforce misogynistic content, making AI part of structural gendered violence. And then we have legal and cultural challenge in Indonesia. That we know we have UU TPKS 20 and 22 does not regulated AI generated sexual content, leaving a legal gap. And then for the law enforcement lacks AI literacy and digital forensic skill. And then the third, strong stigma and victim blaming case underreporting, especially for AI generated imagery. And then the last part is abuse spreads through encryption and anonymous platforms with minimal oversight. And then we have global patterns and comparative insight, which many countries face similar regulatory struggle with AI-enabled sexual exploitation. And then law criminalization deepfake pornography exists in some jurisdiction, but enforcement remains inconsistent. And then the third, global initiative like safety by design promote prevention through built-in platform safeguards. And then the last part is adaptation to local culture, literacy levels, and legal structure is essential for Indonesia. And then we have recommendation and practical implication, which the first thing we can recommendation we have update laws to explicitly criminalize AI generated sexual content. And then the second, strength digital forensic and AI training for law enforcement, and then collaborated with tech platform on transparent on transparent algorithms and stronger content moderation. And then the fourth, expand public education, youth awareness, and survivor support like counseling, digital evidence help, and then rapid takedown. And the last recommendation, establish ethical AI governance with independent oversight. And then we have limitation and future direction, which relation on English language search may miss Indonesia data. And then rapid AI development creates research gap. And then we have future studies showed include survivor voice, evaluated low effectiveness, and assess broader social or psychological impact. And last part, we have conclusion. In this study, conclude that AI accelerates and amplifies exceeding forms of gender-based sexual exploitation, creating a serious gap between technological progress and current legal protection. The rise of deepfakes, AI-driven grooming, and harmful algorithms content show that existing laws, including Indonesia UU TPKS, are not yet equipped to address AI-specific risk. To respond, Indonesia must strengthen legal clarity, improve forensic and AI literacy, require stronger safety measures from developers, and less expand public awareness to reduce stigma and support survivors. So this is the last part for my presentation. Thank you so much for watching and bye bye.